Our next guest recently moved here from Cleveland, and she insists that she never refuses a dare. She claims that she can tell immediately if a guy is her type, and she admits she hasn't dated in over a year. Please welcome McCall Bennett. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. That's a pretty name, McCall.
I hated it until I was about 20.
Yeah, it's original and nice. Now, why has it been so long since you've dated?
Well, I just got done with a gender studies degree at Ohio University. So I learned a lot about how men and women play games with one another.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play those games.
No, but is that what gender studies is? Explain that, because it's not just there's a man, there's a woman.
Without getting too technical, basically it's the study of men and women individually, sociologically, psychologically, how they communicate with one another, and how they think individually.
Oh, wow. This sounds dangerous for men.
Sounds dangerous for my dating experience.
All right, we're going to take a look at the tapes that McCall saw, and remember, you guys are going to vote again. First, there was Mark. He's originally from Warren, Michigan. He says that he's quiet at first, but once he gets going, it's hard to stop him. He's looking for a woman who enjoys dancing and roller coasters, and here's more from Mark.
I mean, I want to take a woman to a nice restaurant, really ethnic, down-to-earth, something, you know, like homegrown food. That, and, you know, like a fancy Italian restaurant, I mean, 20, 30 bucks, and you know, something that I couldn't order in a regular restaurant, like couscous or whatever you want to call it, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Next there was Joe. He's a Los Angeles native, and he says he has, quote, no specific taste in women. He admits that he has a habit of forgetting birthdays and anniversaries, and here's something else Joe doesn't like about himself.
I've got beauty marks here, 3 beauty marks on my face that I was born with, that I've grown to accept them. It's like the love triangle. It's a joke I've had since I was a little kid, that you know, you touch all 3 at the same time and you've fallen in the love triangle. But that's just, that's something that I never really tell very many people.
But he told us. And finally, Christopher. He was born and raised in New York City. He plays tennis and basketball, and he says that women tell him he's a good listener. Christopher tells us about a recent date.
She didn't like me, and I didn't like her that much, and this wasn't going well at all. You know, so we're just like trying to get rushed through dinner and everything, and she's like, oh, hold on, I'll just go to the bathroom, I'll be right back out. And she was, she took off. I'm with the bill, was sitting there. I feel like an idiot with the waiter. I'm like, oh yeah, she'll be back.
All right, guys, there you go. Those are the 3 men that McCall had to choose from, and it's time to vote, so have fun. All right, the audience has made its choice, but we're out of time. We're going to find out who McCall picked and hear everything that happened on their date tomorrow. That's our show for today. I'm Pat Bullard, and we'll see you then.
And now here's our host, Pat Bullard.
Hey, hey! Oh! Thank you so much. Another great crowd. Let's get started by meeting our first guest. She recently moved here from Cleveland. She has 1 dog, 3 cats, and 9 tattoos. And she says she knows just how women manipulate men. Please welcome McCall Bennett. Hi, McCall. How are you? Have a seat. Well, thanks for coming back. You were here yesterday. And I must say you look very different than you did yesterday.
The tattoos are showing.
That's what it is. And you have 9.
I do.
Wow. Now, tell me how women manipulate men.
I just finished up a degree in gender studies at Ohio University and learned a lot about the games that men and women play with one another, especially when dating. And I kind of found out that men are much more direct with the things they say and with what they want, where women add a lot of emotions and signals into what they want, and men are left to decipher them. And I don't play those games, really.
Oh, well, that's refreshing to hear, because usually people are always bashing men, but we're direct and to the point. Good. Let's remind everyone what happened yesterday. Our studio audience saw McCall's 3 choices, and they voted for 1. Let's take a look at all 3 men again. First, there was Mark. He says he's quiet at first, but once he gets going, watch out. Then there was Joe. He says he has, quote, no specific taste in women. And finally, Christopher. He says that women tell him he's a good listener. All right, the audience vote was recorded yesterday, of course, and we'll get to that a little later, but tell us, McCall, who did you choose?
I picked Christopher.
Christopher, all right. We should say hello to Christopher Zuckert. Hi, Christopher.
How are you doing, Pat?
Very well, thanks. Thanks for being with us. Tell us about your date, McCall.
Well, the first contact that Chris and I had was on the phone. I called him to set up the date. And I don't know if I woke him up or what, but he really didn't say a whole lot on the phone. I threw out a couple of ideas for dates, and he kind of mumbled, yeah, okay.
Ah, okay. Now, what did you think of McCall on the phone, Christopher?
Well, she has a very deep New York voice. I thought it was one of my friends at first. She's like calling me up in the answer machine. She's like, all right, Christopher, it's McCall. I went on a date with a love connection.
Okay. So, then what happened, McCall? I think that was you he was doing.
It was me. So I threw out a couple of suggestions, like I said, and I was really hyped up about this idea that we could go to volunteer at Project Angel Food, which is an organization, a community organization that delivers food to hot meals to patients with AIDS that are homebound. I figured this way we could be in my car, we could listen to music, we could talk a little bit, but still have
and
an
also
objective.
do something very noble.
Right,
and
exactly.
How did you feel about those plans, Christopher?
I thought it was a great cause, but it's not the type of thing you do on a first date. So, but I enjoyed doing it and helping out other people.
But not really looking forward to it. So what happened next, McCall?
So he came to pick me up at my house at about 11 o'clock in the morning. And I went down to answer the door, and he was standing there.
I brought her a rose.
Oh, that was nice.
He did.
He brought you a rose.
I thought he was very sweet in that respect.
Yeah, that's very romantic. And then what, McCall?
So we get in my car, we drive to Project Angel Food, and I'd never volunteered before at Project Angel Food. So they gave us, you know, a regime of what we had to do. So we deliver the food, and as we're doing this, he's really not talking much. I turn up the radio, you know, I'm hoping we can find something that we both like listening to. And there was minimal conversation. After we're done delivering the food, however, I kind of was expecting us to go on a date. You know, that was just the precursor to the date, and I asked for suggestions.
Oh, okay.
He didn't really have any suggestions.
No suggestions. Well, what did you end up doing, Chris?
She took me shopping, and she took me to apply for a job like I was going to be a reference for something.
She took you
wanted
to
make
apply for a
pottery.
job.
What's that?
She took you to apply for a job?
She applied for a job at one of the stores we went to.
Not exactly, but we'll go with that.
Okay.
My stomach was the next thing that made the decision, and I figured we had to eat, and he couldn't really disagree with that. So we went and got food, and I decided we would go up to this Runyon Canyon, which is this really neat place in LA, and you can see the whole city. It's a breathtaking view. I've only been here 5 weeks, and it's one of the most spectacular things I've seen since I've been here. I figured I'd get him to say something if he saw this view. So we hike up there, not a lot of conversation on the way up. We get to the top, and we look out over it, and he just kind of,
I was talking about the view. I was saying it's a little small game stuff. So.
Not quite taken by the romance of it. It was a little smoggy, yeah.
So we walk back down and get into my car, and his lithium shuts off, and his Vibrin comes in, and he starts suggesting all these great dance spots and 3rd Street Promenade, and we've got all these places we can go and restaurants and stuff like that. And I wasn't sure I wanted to be dancing till 4 o'clock in the morning with him.
Well, so instead of then your suggestions, Chris, what did you guys end up doing?
Well, I decided to take her on errands. So I took her to pick up my headshots, and we went for sushi.
That was, you know, the one point that we both were really excited about. We both really liked sushi, and I figured I had to eat anyway, so why not go with this boy? So we went and had sushi, and it was good sushi. He had took me to this really neat restaurant. I listened to as he starts ordering his sushi. He orders like 24 pieces, which is an exorbitant amount of sushi for one person. And as we're ending this meal, I realized that he's only eaten like 5 or 6 pieces.
Now, why did you order so much, Chris?
It was a long day and I was hungry. You know, the sushi, you get filled up, you want some more later. I ate it all, though.
Oh, okay. He ate it all.
So I ended up having to doll out $40 out of my own pocket above and beyond what the show gave me.
Oh, really? Yeah. So how did the date end, McCall?
That was pretty much the end of it. We got into our cars and we said, see you on the show. And
well, you know what's good, though? You both got a lot of errands done. And
we
I think
certainly did.
that's important. Let's take a look and see how the audience voted. The audience chose Joe, 48%. 48, that's right, the love triangle guy he was mentioning in yesterday's tape. If you'd like to go out with Joe, we'd be more than happy to pay for you guys. Yeah?
I'll go with Joe.
Oh, good.
Sure.
Go out with Joe and come back and tell us all about it. We'd appreciate it, McCall. Christopher, I'm sorry things didn't work out.
Thank you, McCall.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for being with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with another couple after this.
What's the active ingredient?